As some of you may know, as of recently I was working on a Michael Afton video discussing his broken character. After the release of Secret of the Mimic though, I had to start working on a Secret of the Mimic lore video for you guys. Unfortunately, YouTube is a little more complicated than that. Because I took so long with my Into the Pit video, my channel really suffered from that lack of uploading. As a result, this video is being made as a quick video about Secret of the Mimic, more regarding its story and a discussion that I really wanted to have. A little bit ago, I had a tweet that a lot of people disagreed with for some reason. I think Secret of the Mimic is a really cool story if you look at it from a feminist POV, because the Mimic is literally a parallel to how Edwin sees his wife as an object. Now, a lot of people really agreed with me. It was especially nice to see people who I really respect their work and thoughts about the series agreeing with my take. But some people really didn't like it. Some respectively, and some pretty toxically. My misunderstanding about that is why? Because I'm right. No matter how you look at Secret of the Mimic, Edwin's a bad guy. Let's start by talking about Fiona. It is clearly established that Fiona is caring, talented, and a loving person. She's way more than just a mother figure for David and Edwin's wife. A majority of Edwin's success and the business projects with Fazbear Entertainment wouldn't even be possible without her help. Edwin clearly wants to see himself as Mr. Helpful, someone to make machines and things for people to use in order to succeed in life. The important thing about that is that Fiona is the source of him being able to do that. Not just through emotional support, but she's talented, more organized, and just more capable at doing things that Edwin just isn't. That's not to say Edwin isn't talented in his own right. He made the Cleanovac and different machines for people to use. But we see he also is flawed, unable to fully replicate his success. And a lot of his successful projects were done with the help of Fiona, going downhill after her death. Fiona was also getting sick of Edwin's behavior before her death. We can sense her frustration through some of the voice logs.
Ed, you're not going to want to hear this, but there's a lot of grumbling on the work floor. You have a lot of new ideas and new projects coming in, but the staff can't keep up with all your changes. Your creative energy is amazing, and I love you for it. But I think you need to step back a little and focus on one project at a time.
Hello, admins. Let us know if there's anything we can do to make your workday more pleasant, aside from Windows. We've heard your numerous requests, and Ed promises to add Windows very soon. Ed, I hate talking to you through this stupid bear, but it's hard to reach you otherwise.
Frustrated that she has to talk to her husband through a creepy doll, constantly having to make excuses to the employees about why certain things aren't happening, like windows, fixing elevators, even pleading with Edwin to slow down, be more mindful of his employees. And after her death, he has a very selfish reaction, one that revolves around him, how his life is gonna go downhill, sounding more like a spoiled brat than a grieving husband.
Oh, why did you go? You weren't even supposed to be there. You were supposed to be here with me and David. Oh, how am I supposed to tell David that his mother is gone? How am I supposed to raise a kid on my own? His life is ruined. My life is ruined.
Speaking of the employees, Edwin is a horrible boss. This shouldn't be controversial. He gets constant complaints about different things, fires someone on the spot for questioning him, being trapped in his own world. We see that with the talk with Fiona. For a normal person, this would be one thing, but it's affecting everyone at his company, people with lives, possibly children. And we see after Fiona's death, he's super unstable. He's going crazy, believing everyone is against him, which eventually leads to the downfall of his company. His attitude towards business first, people later is seen all throughout the game, especially in two main parts. Firstly, when he sounds like an AI bro from the 70s, talking about automated shows without actors, and in Dolly's speech, where his focus on recycling instead of being for the environment is for the purposes of making money. And while you could argue that things like global warming weren't as known in the 70s, the reference to replacing actors and recycling are clearly meant to be viewed from our 21st century perspective, kinda showing us that Edwin's not the best person. Edwin's most obvious sin is him being a horrible father. The reason it's the most recognizable is that he literally recognizes it. He let a robot raise his son, and is directly responsible for his death, leaving him at the playground, ignoring his lawyer's advice. Yet he still puts something that's his fault onto the Mimic, a machine that just doesn't have the same responsibility Edwin should. It's another example of Edwin acting like a spoiled brat instead of a fully grown man. A lot of those aspects of Edwin's personalities are reflected in the Mimic, considering it's his creation, starting with M1, who is meant to replicate Fiona. All of the traits of M1 are maxed out from Edwin's perspective, and not Fiona's. It doesn't focus on how she's a talented artist, made different characters, and was able to genuinely criticize Edwin when necessary. Now she's just a loving housewife, always optimistic, always having the most unconditional love for her husband, overprotective of David, doing anything to get him back. The real Fiona had some of these traits. She was protective of David, wanted Edwin to spend more time with him, but again, M1 is being built from Edwin's perspective. For multiple reasons, I don't believe M1 is the actual Fiona, but this is probably the biggest. It acts nothing like the real Fiona. It's misaligned. It's Edwin's old-timey misogynistic view of his wife. And before you come at me for calling him misogynistic, he clearly is. Just look at how he talks to Dolly.
Edwin is a genius. Wink.
Oh, get back to work, you.
Look at how he talks about the wife in the ads. Edwin is clearly set up to have some archaic views on women. When we get to M2, we get to an example of how he saw David. The reason he was unable to replicate David for so long was because he basically knew nothing about his son. I believe the automated storybook might have even been a way for Edwin to be hands-off, not wanting to interact with the creation, trying to automate love. Eventually, Edwin even turns violent towards the Mimic, being unstable. If he wasn't an absent father, can we really say he would have been a very good one, considering that he beat the Mimic, who's meant to represent David? M1 and M2 aren't literally David and Fiona. It's representing how Edwin saw his own family. What happened to Edwin was his own fault. While in the gameplay, Arnold and Mimic are the pro and antagonist, the real story going on is about Edwin. For how smart he may have been, successful his company was, and loving family man he seemed, he was insecure, needed help, and drove people away from him, and was horrible to his family. Up until William Afton, Edwin caused his own downfall. William was only able to do what he did because of Edwin's mistakes. Edwin was a bad person. He was a bad father, bad husband, bad boss. He was misogynistic, greedy, and insecure. But with all of that being said, he's one of the best FNAF characters we've ever had. The FNAF fandom sucks at knowing when character motivations are real and when they're just headcanons. They also suck at giving characters any motivation to begin with, relying on mostly theories to get them across. Pieces of evidence from the first few games that don't really follow any sort of narrative. You have to stop treating FNAF as a bunch of theories cobbled up together and start treating it as a story. William is incapable of feeling guilt for his actions. Look at the story through that lens. Michael in the movie and throughout the games is heavily implied to have something like post-traumatic stress disorder. Look at that and use it in your analysis. Vanessa's conditions are clearly very unique to her. No matter if Glitch Trap is in her head or not, the trauma she's experiencing is very real and isn't from another totally different character. The reason I love Edwin so much is it's hard to deny his character. With William, Michael, and even Vanessa, because of their poor portrayal in the games, it's really easy for people to ignore these things about these characters. Throwing aside their motivations and storytelling, Edwin is going on the right track for what FNAF needs. More understandable character motivations. I'm really excited for what's coming after Secret of the Mimic, and hope that they continue to make characters like this, with solid motivations, real stories to go off instead of just theories. But, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna be working real hard to get that lore video out as soon as possible, but I really just wanted to talk about Edwin. I absolutely love him. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Later!